Hello, this is Becca from Willow Hill Designs and welcome to my channel. Today I am showing the finished product for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 5, and the prompt was wearable. My little chatelaine is finished and I'll just show you what I did on it. I attached the neck piece, the little strap that goes around my neck to wear this, and I'll just show you. These are two pieces, as I said, of selvage that were torn off of a home deck fabric, a lightweight canvas fabric, a very pretty fabric, and I just stitched them together, and I used a running stitch to just add a little decorative touch to them, running stitch in blue. Just something very simple because they were canvas and they were truthfully hard to stitch through. It was a little hard on the hands. Good thing I had my thimble. And what I did to attach these little, this neck piece is that I sewed 2 jump rings to the back of this little chatelaine. And these are just used for jewelry or charms. And then after I had the little jump ring in place, I stitched on a button. I think I'll probably antique these buttons a little bit. They're a little too bright for me. But those jump rings were my means of attaching the neck strap to the little chatelaine. And all I did there was to take some lobster clips, and I just stitched them to the bottom of the neck strap. And let's see if I can slip. I can't get my thumb there easily. There we go. And these just attached very easily to this little jump ring. And there are 2 lobster clips that are sewn to the bottom, very bottom of this neck strap, which is the selvage. And all I did was fold the edge under of the neck strap so that there weren't raw edges down here, so that I'd have something secure to grab to. And so those are just stitched right on with thread, nothing more, no jump ring or anything like that. And then it's just very easy to take them and hook them on to the little chatelaine, and you can put it around your neck just as easily, and it hangs very nicely when you're wearing it. Truthfully, I probably won't be wearing the neck strap on it. I'll probably just leave it off, but it is there for convenience in case I do want it. So I'll just set that there, and I can also hang that on my stand. But I'll show you the front of what I've done here on the little chatelaine. And I finished with the lace work, and I added some embroidery to this lace just to kind of give it some pop and some life. And just with some silk threads, did a little bit of embroidery on the leaves and the flowers. And then this stem, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this little stem has some gold thread wrap in a wrap stitch or a whip stitch around the stem. And here's a little lace motif that I added and just had stitched on some little tiny beads for a little sparkle on there. This is the piece of porcelain that a very special piece of porcelain, and I thought I would add it to this, and I'll show you at the end of the video if you'd like to see how I did that. And then under here, underneath, I had sewn the lining to it, and I just laid the lining on, did a few running stitches to keep it in place, turn these edges under, and then lastly I added this to seal the whole thing in, and I'll show you what I used for that. But again, over here I stitched on another little piece of treasured porcelain. And again, and I just used a pearl cotton thread, I think it was number 12 on this, just to kind of encase it, to make sure that it was on there and it wouldn't leave. And it has special significance, so that's very nice to have that on here. And I added a little button for a closure. I don't know if I will really use it that often, but this is just, up here are just some pearl cotton. I think I used 4 strands of pearl cotton thread, stitched that, made a knot and stitched that right to the little chatelaine, and then I put a couple of beads on the end. And to close that, again, I would just wrap it right around like that, and it's closed, it's secure. And I'll just show you also on the back that I added also the embroidery work to the lace back here. I did some canthus stitching and some seed stitches, and a little bit of running stitch with some wrapped silk thread around the little mouse in blue. The running stitches are ivory and the wrapped stitches are blue. And then what I did to hold the whole thing together, I was going to use seam binding, a French seam binding, but I just didn't like it. It was in a blue, and this just looked so kind of vintagey to me. I felt it needed something to go with that and with all the lace on it. So I had this linen napkin that I love dearly. I had several of them, but I used them for one of the books that I did with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And I think this was the last napkin I had left. So I cut off 2 of the edges, and the edges looked like this. They're very pretty. The work along the edges, I'm thinking they're hand crocheted, but I'm not sure. This was one of the edges that I cut off here, and this one. And I was careful to leave this little motif intact because I was sure I'd want to use that down the road for something. So those 2 pieces, I cut those about 1.5 inches wide. And so when this was opened fully, like this, when it was opened fully, I stitched that napkin first on the front side all the way down on both sides, and then I folded it under 1/4 inch twice, and then I wrapped it around and sewed it on the inside of the pocket for the little chatelaine. So this was all sewed on prior to me bringing these pieces together, prior to bringing the little pocket portion together. So once the lace was on each edge, I then stitched the lace together to form the pocket. So that's what you see here. I just did I don't know that it's a ladder stitch per se. It is my way of stitching, and that's what I did, kind of an invisible type of applique stitch on there, just to keep these little pockets closed. And so that finished the little pocket portion off so that I could now add things to it. But prior to doing that, I forgot to mention that I added a little pocket in here. And I don't know if you can see that pocket, but it's the same fabric that's right here and also right here in the front and here. So that is a little pocket for my thimble. So I'm thinking, I don't know what you would put in this. Part of me wants to put treasured little notes for my grandchildren or from family members in there, but I'm thinking I'll probably put my thimble in there and a threader for thick threads when they don't want to go through the needle, a stitch ripper, which is kind of nice to have, and it folds compactly and the point is protected. This is by Bowen. This is a nice little, sometimes when you have to take stitches out. This was a scissors given to me by my friend, and they just separate. And again, the nice thing about these is that they fold and the points won't hurt anything, so they can tuck in there nicely into my little pouch. And if I am going somewhere where I'll be doing some stitching, I can tuck these little things that I need. It's everything I need. My thimble. Oh, I could add some needles, a little needle holder in there as well. And there's room for that. And then if I want, I can just hook the neck strap on. So that is my little pouch completed, and I have to say, I love it. Of course, we choose things that are our own taste, that we love, and I do love this. I just think it's so pretty, and I really have enjoyed stitching on it. And I thought I'll just share, if you'd like to see how I attached these pieces of ceramic on there. And this is just a piece of sea glass that I had. And this is a thicker pearl cotton that I have. This is a DMC, I think. Yes, DMC, and I think this is an 8. And what I would do for this is I would just begin putting some stitches to secure it in place. And they can really be anywhere. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. It's just however your piece of, whether it's glass or porcelain or a stone or a found object, a piece of a seashell. I love pieces of broken seashells. I think they're beautiful. Whatever you have, if you have a treasured object that you'd like to attach to something that you're stitching, a stitching project, it's really quite easy. And again, there's really no rhyme or reason to the way that you do it. Just put in enough stitches where you think that it's securely tacked down. And you can always add more if you feel that it needs more. Maybe another one here. And then I'll just show you quickly how I went about attaching some interesting little loops to kind of make a kind of like a little circular thing going around them. And I would just come up at some point, and then I would take a thread, maybe this one, put the needle under it, and then where your loop is, I would just go through the loop, kind of making a knot, almost like those things that we would see that enclosed the glass bowls with nets from fishing, kind of a sea theme. Kind of makes me think of that type of thing. And then I might go down here where I came up. And again, there's really no rhyme or reason. I would just come up again somewhere where I see maybe a crisscross. And maybe I would take this inner one and put a little loop and a knot. And then maybe this one here, or maybe I would go under this one. Hopefully you can see. And kind of draw up a knot. And maybe I would go down here. This really will depend on your little piece and what it looks like. And then I might come up here and maybe go under these 2 threads and again make a knot. Kind of pulling, and it looks like we need something else here. So I would probably go down here and make another cross piece. Maybe, let's see, let's do it here so we save thread. Maybe a piece here, and then coming up so that there's some framework also on this side. And then I might come up here and maybe catch something here and kind of pull it and do the loop. And if you don't like it, just take it out and redo it. I might go down here, and then I might come up here and maybe catch this one again. And again, make kind of a knot where you're beginning to make some sort of a little fretwork around it. And maybe I would even take that one and just pull through and pull a knot. And you can continue going around as you see fit. And it will definitely depend on what you like. I might add something here. I might come up in this area. And rather than pull this one, which might slip off, I might take the top one, or even the one underneath that, go under it, and just try to make another little something there. So it does really, it encases it in kind of a very interesting way. It makes sort of a little fretwork structure around it. And so it's very easy, and then you would just tie off on the back. And again, you can attach whatever you like to a stitching project, and that's what I did here. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you like this little chatelaine. I personally love it, and this will be a little treasured addition in my stitching spot with all my good things that I need in here, with the exception of needles, and I do have room for a little needle tube in there, a little needle holder, so I will do that. So thank you for joining me today. I'll give you another little close-up of that. And also of the strap, which is kind of interesting looking, kind of an interesting looking creature. It seems to go nicely with it, though. It seems to kind of go with that vintagey sort of look. And again, just an easy way to attach it with just adding a few lobster clips and some jump rings. So thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you many blessings, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. And I thought I would also add that I received a lovely email from Giussi Coluccia in Italy. She received her gift from me for the 2,000 subscriber mark that I reached, and it was just the sweetest email. And I'm so happy to know that she appreciates what she received and really loves what she got. And her words in her email were very, very sweet, and I treasure them. Thank you, Giussi, for that beautiful email, and I hope that you enjoy what you received. So I just thought I'd share that Giussi did receive her gift, and she sent me a beautiful thank you. So again, bye for now.